You know, I got asked this week about why would I make a change from the XR to the GSA, and that's a fair question. The XR, when you put an XR next to a GSA side by side, there's not a lot of categories that the GSA can match the XR in, except for one, and that's range. What I found is that the XR, while a super great bike, it weighs less than a GSA, it's much easier to muscle around, it's very range limited. I had a comment on one of the vlogs, you know, saying that they were able to get somewhere around 215 miles out of a tank of fuel on an XR, and really is a function of how throttled up are you with this stuff. You know, a lot of our speed limits here are 80, and to stay ahead of traffic, you're cruising at 85 or 90. You know, the more you gas up these big 1000cc plus bikes, the worse your mileage is going to be, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You know, if you're going to ride around at 45 or 50 miles an hour all the time, sure, that's no problem whatsoever. You know, 50 miles a gallon is probably not likely on an XR, but somewhere in the mid-40s is, you know, provided you're going to, you know, ride around at a lower level of speed. So one of the comments was that that particular XR owner was able to get 215 miles, and my experience has been I'm really on fumes at about 175 miles, and that's decent range for some of the areas and rides that I do. One of the legs that I ride, 175 puts you on fumes, and I came so close to running out of fuel last year that I just decided that I was not going to do any more stretching fuel. You know, it's all well and fine until you run out of fuel, you know, 5 miles from where you need to be, and then you're faced with, you know, trying to walk and get a tank and put some fuel in it, or thumbing a ride, or whatever it is. None of those options are any fun, and they can, you know, put a dent in any sort of schedule you've got going for that day. I don't want to sound like I'm, you know, overscheduled or anything else, but I kind of am. I'm, you know, a full-time job, and I'm on call a lot, and I just don't have, you know, days to lose in a lot of these cases. So it's important. Range is an important priority for me anyways. So as you can see, we're cruising along the Milwaukee lakefront here. Even though the temperature's warmed up a little bit, we've still got, you know, quite a bit of snow piled up, and of course more coming, so there never seems to be a loss of snow and ice here in the upper Midwest in the wintertime. But you got to take days like this when you get them, and so we've got one. So the GSA is, you know, it's a bit different to ride. It feels very bulky up in the front because of the large, you know, fuel capacity, and which is actually held a little lower than what it looks like right here in front of you. Obviously a twin versus a 4-cylinder, which makes a very different noise. Just like the XR, it's a nice note. It's quiet. It's not irritating, and they don't make a lot of noise until you really get them wound up. And for putting around through the city here, they just don't make much noise at all. Talked about earlier, something really important here for where we ride, or where I ride, is the heated grips, and they are really amazing. There's a lot of places where, you know, you can get away with a good set of gloves and this and that, but not here. I don't care what the gloves are. Battery powered gloves, yeah, they'll work, but only for a certain amount of time, and if you've got a very long ride to do, then you're really going to be unhappy a few hours into it when those batteries, you know, wear out. So heated grips are essential here. See if downtown's got anything to offer us. Yeah, just for reference, if you can't see it, the temperature on the bike here says 53 degrees Fahrenheit, which is really, really warm for Milwaukee in the wintertime. I mean, we get these days every once in a while, but not too many of them. Super Bowl Sunday, and what would you rather be doing? I'd rather be on my bike. You can see this bike's got the quick shift. After you ride this, you figure out that first and second gear, they quick shift, but they're not nearly as smooth as what you'd see in third, fourth, and fifth. And so, yeah, does it work? Yeah, it works great. But even according to BMW, it's a 70% thing. So long. Take care now. Bye-bye then.